No, my pussy is so needy lately.
This week on Positively Godless. Poor Scott. It's been a rough week.
Oh, it has. Am I on mute again?
Say hi, baby boy.
And all we have to say this week is
Gee.
Thanks
Thanks, God.
God.
Hi, Cat. Okay. Gosh, I hope I get to hear that later.
Crazy! Over under feeling crazy! It was no wonder you're just making me crazy!
So she's a beautician.
Well, she's a beautician too, but she's an instructor. But an esthetician is somebody who pops zits.
I'm done with this conversation with you right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Positively Godless. I am one of your three co-hosts, Tyler Zoolander, joined by Just Jerry, and unfortunately Scott Lawrence.
Thank
Tyler,
you.
by the way, I have to concede that you were right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Of course I was.
Excuse me, I was talking while you interrupted.
Oh man, Scott put you in a mood tonight. This is gonna be a good episode.
Tyler, you're this way and Scott's that way.
You
No!
just screwed it up again. You just screwed it up again.
You're this way. You're on my right?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm so Polish.
Yes. Think about it as if right now, if we were in the screens looking out, and each one of us is looking out. So when you're watching the video, I'm on the far left. But when you're recording it, it's like you're looking out from the screen, and I'm over on the left, and Scott's over on the right.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right. Or I mean, right? I'm on the right. He's on the left. Okay.
No one knows except for Headcase.
Well, anyway, welcome again to everybody who didn't tune out during that tangent.
Right.
86 views in 2 days.
Yeah,
3
right?
days. Is it 2 days or 3? Yeah, 3 days. 2 days. You're right.
2 days, yeah, because we are recording early this week. As anybody who normally watches the show knows, we normally record on Thursday. During the next few weeks, because of holiday stuff and schedule conflicts, we'll be recording on Tuesdays, so there will be a little more lag time between, if comments don't get in right away, or if things happen in the news and stuff between Tuesday and Sunday that we don't talk about. That would be why.
Yes.
So,
well, it's my fault. Let me tell you, Scott said, we're recording tonight. I'm like, what? We're recording tonight? And it's my reason that we're recording early this week and next week, because this week is my husband's work Christmas party, and next week is the Mariah Carey concert.
And the next week we will not be recording because we will be celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So that's
wow.
So no show that.
When's Craig's birthday?
I don't know.
Let's go to Craigslist and find out.
No. No. Jesus is his brother. Craig Christ.
Jesus has a brother?
Inside joke. That? Inside joke.
We'll send you the link.
So what's happening, guys? In the short week since we last convened.
Well, what's been happening is let's just kind of get to let's get to comments because might as well. That's what we do. That's kind of the order of our show.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were asking, or are you asking like what's happening in my life?
Well, either or.
Scott's been annoying me.
Yeah.
Not intentionally. God.
No, I'll forgo telling you about my doctor's appointments and everything.
Okay.
I told everybody about my enema.
You can. Jerry, you can save that for the after show. That's fine.
Okie dokie smoker.
Yeah. Scott, comments.
Comments. We'll just go up the ladder here by our good friend Christopher Mowdy. Patty the Bill, a Philly favorite, is well known for bringing amazing food to feed her musicians during rehearsals. That's how rehearsals should be. Which I just replied, yeah, she's fantastic. I agree. Looking forward to hanging out with you soon. D. Smith came back into the fold.
Hey,
From
D,
her,
all right.
from her. Who wants to read this comment because it's a long one and I'll stutter through it because she's way more advanced than I am ever. Will
Really? It's not that long. Okay. It looks
take
like
turns.
she posted. I hate that Philadelphia accent. She posted a link to a website. I guess because we were talking about the whole abortion thing. So part 2, stages of human development from a 3-week-old embryo to a newborn in regards lung development. However, halfway through the 22nd week, the fetus's lungs may be developed to the point where it could have a minuscule chance to live on its own. How many months is 22 weeks?
That would be about 5.5 months.
Okay. State law and medical association regulations generally outlaw almost all abortions beyond 20 or 21 weeks. A baby born during the 22nd week has a 14.8% chance of survival, and about a half of those survivors are brain damaged either by lack of oxygen from poor initial respiration or too much oxygen from the ventilator. Neonatologists predict that no baby will ever be viable before the 22nd week because before then the lungs are not fully formed.
Yeah. Thank you, D.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there goes.
And we do have another comment from Independent, and I'm not going to say the rest because I think it's an expletive.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an expletive.
Yeah. Positively boring, which I, of course, so colorfully replied with, thank you for taking the time out of your day to make such a thought-out comment. We truly appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah, and then Adam,
I will say, in all in all honesty, about last week's episode.
I didn't watch it.
Um,
Sorry.
Surprise! What a surprise! No, in all honesty, in regards to last week's episode, it was probably one of my least favorites.
yeah, I was really serious in that episode.
Yeah, and I was just like super incredibly overtired.
You had the kiddo and
Jerry, you being in the mood was the only thing that like made
Saving
it,
grace.
Yeah, it was the only thing that made it any means bearable. But yeah, no, I mean it again. I'm not gonna apologize for what we do. I mean, this is what we do, and sometimes.
Does this mean I
The
have to
product
start,
is very entertaining, and sometimes it is not as much.
do I have to
Because
start drinking
after
again,
all
or
the-
what?
What?
To make
You have
it,
to drink
do
again?
I have to start drinking again to make it entertaining, or what?
No.
No,
Because
I-
when you drink, it's not entertaining.
I know. I watched
No.
past episodes going, oh my god.
yeah,
You're
uh-huh.
so
Well,
mostly-
upset and you
mostly
get
because you
butthurt
don't
for the
remember any
smallest
of it.
things.
I know. Yeah, 10 days sober though, so
Yeah.
hey, there's
Good,
that.
good for you.
I'm excited. So
Good
thank you,
job.
Flu.
Yeah, also, we're
Seriously.
just 3 people who have lots and lots of stuff going on in our lives, and we do this just for fun.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid for it, so therefore, the quality is the quality is.
Well, and here's the other thing too. You know what? If you think that we're positively boring, fine. I mean, okay. Could you give us some sort of constructive criticism? I mean, what should we do? Should we include more sound effects? Should we be more wacky? Should we comment on which actually, Scott, we can't see your antenna this week, but I mean,
I wonder why.
Did you take them down?
I kind of did, yes.
Good
kind
job.
of did.
I
Yeah.
kind of did. What I did is I actually just put 2 trash bags in
my
front of them and just covered them up. Just for you guys. So that was I'll be ready in 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'll shut these guys up.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, that was worth it.
Or do we have to get naked? I mean, like, what's the deal?
But right. But seriously, and again, we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But if there is something that you think, or again, we've asked in the past, if you've have suggestions of things that you want us to talk about and stuff, let us know, and we'll try and cover those topics. So,
I have
Scott, were there any more comments? I'm sorry,
there's one more.
There's one more, but there's something else that I'm sorry, Jerry. Go ahead.
So we can't read them all and then leave Adam out.
No, of course not. No, I just want to make sure I set this one up too. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do Adam first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's read Adam's comment first. I don't know Adam well enough to do him.
I knew it.
Let he who is without sin pass the first stone. Lost it, great. Did we say that? Is that what we said? Is that what I said? Because I thought.
Yeah, I think we all kind of try to like.
I thought, let he who is without sin cast the first stone, but it could have sounded like pass the first stone. So
kidney stone.
And apparently, I made a reference
Could've.
to Avenue Q in last week's episode that I didn't know about either.
You did?
Yeah, because you know the
missed
song that everybody's a little bit racist.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes.
Racist. So apparently there's a line in the song that says, now not big judgment. No. I forget what it was. Hold on.
Oh boy,
Give me a second. Let me get my text messages because it's in there. It's in my text messages.
I'm really disappointed that Jerry didn't watch the episode.
I don't always watch the
Thank
full
you for your support, Jerry.
Nice Avenue Q reference. Everyone makes judgments based on ...
Oh.
Yeah, because they say everyone makes judgments based on race. Whatever,
Uh-huh.
Everyone makes judgments. We all make judgments.
Yep.
I have one more thing I want to just tackle real quick. Yesterday on Facebook, I follow Joshua Fierstein, and also I follow his spouse too. For some reason, I'm unable to comment on Joshua Fierstein's posts at all. So she posted something.
I thought you did.
I can't anymore for whatever reason. I don't know. I may have said something in a drunken stupor. Who knows? But I did say it is entirely possible. Where I did comment on a post that she posted regarding her husband. I said, we would like to interview Joshua Fierstein on our show, Positively Godly. We have lots of questions for him. We have a respectful show and have had some amazing past guests. Please email us at positivelygodless@gmail.com. And for the rest of you, you can also contact us on facebook.com/positivelygodless or youtube.com/positivelygodless or Twitter at pgodless. And you can email Jerry at coughingfit@gmail.com. So
some poor person.
It's just Jerry, G-E-S-T.
Just Jerry.
Some poor person that has coughingfit@gmail.com is going to get some random email now.
I wonder if it's an actual email address. Find out.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
So, I just put it out there, and his wife liked it. But here's the greatest thing: is the followers of Mr. Fierstein. Who cares about your uneducated opinions? And that happened less than 10 minutes after I posted the comment. And of course, I reply with, you do enough to comment. So this kind of went on, and this one person said that we are drug users on our show.
Makes sense.
Yep. And I said, please point out the episode that we were doing drugs. She says episode 37. I'm like, that's an e-cigarette.
Oh,
not a drug. And I kind of went back and forth. I was very, very nice, very, very polite. Or even people came to my aid and said, this guy's being very, very nice. I don't know why you're being so, non-Christian.
Not nice.
Not nice. And every single person that was poking at me deleted their comments. it was so interesting how they were just, oh, your show sucks, and what did one person went out of her way to post on our page, which I have to find it. Hold on, this Jerry, you got it faster than I do. Um,
What?
oh, I thought you were looking for it.
Oh, no. I was sending an email to coughingfit@gmail.com to see if it gets returned.
Um, oh yeah, this person named Tammy Barden. I was gonna call her out right now, who is
I mean,
obviously
if she's comment on the internet with her full name, then you can
right,
certainly use it.
right. What a joke this page is. Well, all right. Well, thank you for that. And it was just the reason I bring this up is it's just that this is the followers that Joshua Fierstein is getting, these really really bitter people where somebody is just asking for a conversation and we have questions for them, and it wasn't attacking. We're not planning on attacking them. I don't know. We've every single guest that we've had on, I think we've had that conversation. Like, I don't know how this is going to go. This is going to be crazy. This could be nuts. Who knows what's going to happen. Every single one of them, for the most part, has ended fantastically. So, I don't know if the Fierstein interview would be any different, but I just thought it was interesting that, these are the type of comments just because we want to have a conversation with somebody. I thought it was kind of neat. So I wanted to share that with you.
And we want to talk to Michelle Bachman, too.
She has declined our interview. I talked to our friend Paul Ridgway today, who's been assisting us and trying to get people on as guests, and he had to go through the avenue of Mr. Marcus Bachman. No, I don't think that we're interested in speaking with him at all. Who knows what Paul said about our show? Probably said, "Hey, do you want to talk to three atheists?" Probably what he said. I don't know. But I appreciate
We
it.
didn't want to talk to her husband, her gay
No.
husband. We wanted to talk to her.
Right. No, but I mean, I know she's a big public
Mona
figure.
Scott wanted to talk to her. Yeah, I was going to say, like, what makes you think that Michelle Bachman would come on our puny little show?
Well, I don't know. Maybe to prove Alex Botten wrong. Sorry.
What?
That we can get bigger guests than just G-Man, I guess. Who knows?
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, well, that email has not been returned to me. So I'm assuming that coughingfit@gmail.com is a valid email.
Apparently it's
Now,
me.
everybody, please don't go emailing this random person.
Do it. Do it.
Hey, I heard
Do
your
it.
email on Positively Godless. What did you send to him anyway? Did you send it through our page or
No,
your
I
own?
sent it through mine. I sent it through justjerry@gmail.com.
What did you say?
I wrote in the subject, "Is this a valid email?" And then in the body, "I'm just curious."
Oh, wow.
What'd you write in the body, sorry?
I'm just curious.
Oh,
Um,
I can't wait till next week.
so what are we talking about tonight, guys? Because I missed the production meeting.
We didn't really have one, and probably should.
We just rolled into the show.
Just rolled right
Sure
into it.
did.
Right.
Sweet.
That's how I roll.
Nice to take it back old school.
we kind of talked about it today in the messages, and I guess my topic, which I'm probably going to call this episode, is called "Gee, thanks God." And the reason being is I lost a friend of mine yesterday. Lost his battle with stage 4 esophageal cancer. He was 45, and he was one of those people that was just infectious. I met him at my friend Jesse's wedding, and we instantly hit it off. It's just one of those people you just talk music with and just talk to, and he was just one of those people that it's just not fair. It's just why, not that I want anyone else to die, but why does it have to be people like that have to go? So I kind of want to. That's kind of my topic today. Is just like why? What is your valid reasoning where you get some believers or even most believers saying, "Well, he's in a better place." Well, that's a bunch of bullcrap in my opinion, because the poor guy suffered for months, chemotherapy, radiation. I've never gone through that, and I can't imagine what it's like to even go through that, to die a most painful, uncomfortable death. just to bring you quote unquote home. It's just boggles my mind.
How often did you see this guy while he was sick?
I didn't see him at all because he lives out of state.
Okay.
He lives in Fargo, and I was telling Jesse today that I have a lot of guilt because Jesse went up and saw him, and I probably should have went with, and like maybe I had Gavin that weekend, or had something going on, but
You know what? You can't think like that on
No,
your
you
end. I mean, life happens. I mean, look at my friend DJ who passed away in April.
right,
He fell down the stairs, and literally 3 weeks prior to that happening, I talked to him on the phone and said, I have to come down there and see you,
hmm
and then 3 weeks later, he's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just done. Now, just so you know, I mean, a friend of mine, we buried her father on Halloween, and he died from cancer. And I'm pretty sure it was the same. I'm pretty sure it was esophageal cancer. I'm not 100% sure, but he had suffered with it for over a year. And one, by the time they found it, it was too late. But two, even if they had caught it in its early stages, it's one of those non-curable, non-remissionable kinds of cancer. So, at that point, it was just only making him comfortable. And it does take a toll. I hate cancer.
right.
I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's we made that joke last week about miscarriages and you know the God's abortion type thing. Well, I mean that's hi Jerry, we see you. You're moving. Can you
Hello.
not hear us?
I couldn't hear you for a second.
Sorry, there was a momentary hiccup.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Just you said we said last week about
Okay. Okay.
miscarriages, and
Yeah. Since we're gonna edit this part in, I put something in the side chat. So can we add that
we're
video
not
in?
editing. Keep going.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, last week, I made the off-color remark regarding miscarriages and saying, that's God's abortion, but who created cancer? I guess God did. So, I'm going to say this throughout the episode. Gee, God, thanks. It's
It also goes back to the other thing we were talking about with, all of and not that I want to like veer off of what we're talking about, but it goes back to all, you can pray all you want, but God's not helping this. God's not fixing it.
right. It goes back to that article last week or cover story from the Daily
Thursday.
News, you know.
It's
So,
just it's just horrible. I mean, no matter what you do, it's there's just some things that you know. Listen, I don't want people to pray for me after the fact. I want things to get better, and so that we don't have to suffer.
right.
Because after it happens, well, it's done. What can
Yeah.
it's just it sucks, and I'm sorry that you lost your friend.
Yeah.
I totally know how that feels. But
Yeah. So if we could put a video in, that'd be awesome. It's a Christmas wish type thing, and with his wife did it was on the 5th of December.
I
So
will. I'll try. Otherwise,
okay,
we'll put a link into it.
yeah, okay. Um, Tyler, what are your thoughts on this type of topic? That's kind of sad and morose, but
Well, it is, but at the same
it's life.
point, it's life. I mean, it's what happens, and I think. I mean, there were a lot of things when I was younger that caused me to question my faith and, um, the whole, well, why would God do this type thing? And then, I would sit there and whether I was a little kid in Sunday school or, you know, a little bit older and listening to a sermon or listening to my dad go off about something, you know, and it just always came down to, oh well, it's God's will, and oh it's, you know, it's a part of the master plan, or you know, and it's just like what it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, whether it's cancer or whether it's genocide, you know,
Right.
why would God allow for some man to rise up in power in Germany and exterminate 6 million Jews?
Right.
You know, like regardless of what regardless of what Hitler's religious beliefs were, you know, I mean, isn't that the work of the devil?
Right.
I mean, if it is the work of the devil, but yet if God is all powerful, why does he allow that to happen? And it was one of those things that growing up, it just made it all that much more apparent that it was all a lie.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they talk about, or you know, you hear some of these evangelicals talk about, you know, it's the devil's doing. It's the devil's doing. Well, are you telling me that the devil is stronger then? Because he's kind of proven that he is, if he's real too.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, you know, that little excuse that you're making isn't holding any water as far as any of my belief slash disbelief goes.
There are way less people, way less by a wide margin, amount of people that believe in Christianity than people that don't believe in Christianity.
Mhm.
Right.
And so if that is all the devil's work because he's trying to get people to not believe, then he's doing a pretty damn good job of it.
Right.
I mean,
You can't you can't believe in God without believing in the devil.
no,
Right,
I agree.
right.
I agree with that.
I mean, and you can't. I mean, believing in the devil is just, and not believing in God is just kind of like. I mean, that doesn't make sense. But do you think that people say it's God's plan, it's part of whatever, let's just pray, and as long as we pray, God will make it better, like any of that stuff? Do you think people say that because they think, because it's easier to sit at home and get on your knees and pray than it is to like open the door and go outside into the world and actually take action to change the things that are wrong?
Right.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
that's
go ahead. Sorry.
no, I think that's a multi-part systemic issue resulting from the spawn of and proliferation of religion during the Dark Ages. I mean, let's be quite honest, because like that old joke that Tim and I always say to each other is, yeah, there was a time when religion ruled the world. It was called the Dark Ages.
Right.
And it. I think that to answer your question outright, I think that especially in this day and age, and it's been this way for the last, I don't know, probably easily like 60 to 100 years. I think that because of the way that our culture has evolved, yeah, it is absolutely way easier to just sit back and say, this is a part of the plan, and we can pray about it, but there isn't really a whole lot that we can do about it. And I think that it, more than anything, it's just complete
Laziness?
Yeah, complete.
It is
That was
laziness. And
that was the word I was going to go
yeah,
for.
and I've
but,
said that before too. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I think, I mean, because it evolved out of something different, and it evolved out of a time in the Dark and Middle Ages of when we've talked about this before, but being able to explain the unexplainable, because there wasn't science, behind it, or even available at that time. And so at that point, I don't think that it was necessarily, I think it's shifted into just being pretty much pure laziness now, but I think that originally it was more because of the fact that the knowledge wasn't available and it wasn't there. That
To prove their prayer wrong. Really.
Well, right, but to be able to say, oh well, it's just a part of God's plan, or be able to just say, it is what it is, because the sun rises in the west, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, and that's just the way it is. It is what it is.
Right. And even those prayer warriors that they talk about, I bet you 7 out of 10 of them aren't praying for you. Yeah, hey, I'm going to pray for you. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're not.
Their definition of praying for you is, I pray for all the people that I have ever spoken to and told them that I'm going to pray for them.
Or
And
just saying, I'm going to
one-
pray for you, that's their prayer.
Right. Right.
It's that's kind of borderline offensive too. And those people that are praying amongst tragedy after the fact boggles my mind, because if I were a God believer, I'd be pretty flippin' pissed off at my God to allow something like Paris to happen, what's going on in Lebanon to happen, Iraq, 9/11, all these tragedies where thousands upon thousands of people die. I'd be pretty ticked off and say, how dare you?
But you're saying that as a non-believer, right?
Even if I was a believer,
but how do you know? Because you're not a believer, so how do you know that you'd be pissed off?
Well, good point. But I can't imagine. It's like being mad at your kid or being mad at your friend for doing something wrong, or being mad at your dad for being an idiot. That you're a dad.
I get mad at my dad all the time. I don't talk to my dad because he's an idiot.
Right.
I used to get mad at God all the time. I mean, I used to get mad that, something wouldn't go my way, or that something, like, why is this happening, and why, this is so unfair, but, and that was before, that was all pre 9/11. There wasn't anything going on in my angst-filled teenage life to truly be mad about.
Oh my God, you were a teenager in 2001?
Yeah.
How old are you in 2001?
I was 17.
Oh my gosh.
2001.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
You were in high school. You were in class.
I had just started. I did. I was the one that had to announce it to the school.
What do you mean you had announced it to the school? Like have an assembly and there's Tyler Sulinger saying...
No, because I was a part of the AV club, and we did the announcements in the morning. And so, it broadcast on all the TVs to the school. And so the first period of the day, we would go in and we would prep the show and we would do all of that. And then at the beginning of second period, we would go on the TVs and we would deliver all of the announcements. And that week, so every week there would be 2 people that would anchor the show. And it was myself and Melissa. And we were anchoring the show that week, and we were talking through the first period. And, oh, by the way, the quick backstory is that they were doing construction outside our school, and right before school had started in the end of August. And while they did that, were doing the construction, they had cut the cable line. So we didn't have any cable or television actually in the school. So when all the stuff started coming through, it was because it was on the radio up in the office, and the administrative assistants and all that had heard it. And so our teacher came down, and she was like, something just happened in New York. And we're like, what's going on? And she's like, a plane hit a building, whatever. And we're like, okay, well, like, was it a cloudy day? And of course, we can't see any of the news footage because there's nothing. And so she came back down like 20 minutes later, and like you, people use that analogy of like you're, white as a ghost, whatever. I had never seen anybody that pale before in my life.
Wow.
Like she just looked absolutely like she was about to pass out. And she was like, another plane hit the building, whatever. And then we started hearing more and more about this. And then we had to go on and do the announcements like it was normally. And so we had to announce it to the class. And then all of a sudden, like, the principal came in and like everybody was freaking out. And he's like, stay calm and all that kind of stuff. But that's how I will remember my
Wow.
9/11
You've
morning.
never told me that story.
But it's funny because I was just talking to somebody at work this I can't remember if it was yesterday or Friday, but we were talking about this pre 9/11 and post 9/11 world, and how much priorities changed and how much our way of thinking changed. Which, if you take a look at these countries that are really being affected by these wars that are in most cases systemic due to religious factors, they're dealing with it every single day, and we have this one momentous event in our nation's history, which, again, like Pearl Harbor,
Right.
is just like a turning point and a day that you go forward from, that things won't be the same from here on out. And not to minimize either one of those events by any means, because they were absolutely catastrophic. But the fact that if you look back, and in the past, what is that, 75 years, whatever, we've had really two major events like that. I mean, there's been other things like the USS Cole bombing, the original World Trade Center bombing. I mean, there's been
John F.
other...
Kennedy assassination.
No, that doesn't fit into this. I'm talking about terroristic acts.
Oh, terroristic. I'm sorry.
Right.
I thought you meant like things that changed our
No,
country.
well, no, the Kennedy assassination was definitely one of those things, but I'm talking about, terror.
Oklahoma
Yes.
City and
Right. So we've
Gotcha.
had other things like that, but you take those two major things, and how absolutely lucky and spoiled that we are, that's all that we've had to deal with.
Yeah, and not like people coming into our homes and in militias and killing the men and raping the women and the children and then taking the boys and putting them
right.
in their armies.
And having manned or unmanned drone strikes, and like having to wonder if that loud noise that you heard was a bomb going off down the street. Like, I mean, yes, there is a lot wrong with this country, and there are a lot of bad things that are going on right now, but we have so many things that we don't have to worry about, and there's just so many people that don't seem to realize that.
Right. But the thing is, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist or like anything like that. I'm so far from that. But the thing is, these lawmakers and bringing it back to that, the thing that we talked about last week very briefly at the end of the show, my thoughts and prayers go out to the families and victims of the San Bernardino thing.
That angers me so much.
yeah.
Right? Here's the deal. If we don't now start telling these people to shut up with their thoughts and their prayers and do something to fix it, I have a feeling we're going to end up like that. We're going to end up with all of this stuff happening. I mean, I have to admit, I don't think that, I really don't think that it's a huge problem, and it's like, but these things that we're hearing about, they're happening more frequently and with more violence than they have in the past, and yes, a lot of them are the white male Christian terrorists doing these things, but we do have the Islam.
And the radical
Um,
Islam is what we hear about, by the way.
right. Well, because the media and the Republicans, they say when it's the radical Christians, they're the extremist Christians. It's people. Oh, they're mentally ill.
Right.
But everybody else, it's
A terrorist.
their radical extreme religious views and their terrorism, but it's all the same. But if we don't start telling people, shut up with your thoughts and prayers, get your hands, or take the money out of your pockets from the NRA and get your head out of your ass and fix it, it's gonna happen to us the way it happened in Syria and Iraq and Iran and all those other countries. It's just gonna happen. I feel it's gonna happen, and we're
not
gonna
only
be no better off.
and not only that, get your butt out of the house, stick a needle in your arm and bleed a little bit because people need that. Donate some blood. That's helping people. You sitting on your butt at home in your
Well,
rocking chair having a Bible study based on the catastrophic events isn't doing a damn thing.
the best time to donate blood is after a tragedy, only because blood does expire. It does not last forever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. After a tragedy like that,
Tyler, you look like you want to say something.
yeah. So
I don't even know where to begin. I'm so.
I mean, I don't want to turn it into, because we're not ready for that whole, gun,
no,
Second Amendment, all that conversation, because, we have to prepare for that. I mean, we always say we're not going to talk about that. That's a whole other episode, but I'm not trying to turn it into that. I'm just saying that, like, this extremist religious movement, or whatever you want to call it, that's happening all around the world, we have to get the people that we elect, we have to start holding their feet to the fire and making them do their jobs, basically.
right. Trump 2016.
Oh.
It was a joke. I'm trying to lighten the mood.
It's not a joke.
Oh, I know.
Comparing him to Hitler?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tyler. I was reading that his comments lately could disqualify him from office.
I
really don't think, and I don't want to go into this conversation, but I really don't think that he was meant to be a serious candidate for the presidency. I think that he was put there to
Stir the pot.
And to get the right to
show their true colors.
I guess, yeah.
Well, we touched on this in
Very
that
brief.
initial episode.
Yeah.
That after we found out that he was running, and I said that he was basically a plant by the Democrats.
Right.
You did call it, and the more he goes on, the more I believe it.
All right, so here's the thing. We've gotten completely off topic from Scott's topic.
Yeah, we'll go back to it, but go ahead.
I was originally gonna have this as a separate WTF, but we'll just talk about it right now because we segued into it. But this is gonna be a little mini Tyler's rant. It's not gonna be a full-fledged Scott's rant, but so we've done a lot of joking in the past, and me specifically, about Donald Trump running in this race and the Trump Palin 2016, all that stuff, and joking around with it. And you know what? For a while, it was entertaining. Just from that, from the freak show aspect of it, more than anything else. And I mean, in no way, and anybody who's ever seen this before knows that I am in no way a conservative person. And so, obviously, my endorsement for Trump Palin 2016 was not at all serious. With all joking aside, at this point, enough is enough. This has gone on far too long, and it has been taken seriously by too many places for far too long as well. You have a candidate for the Republican Party that is coming out publicly in a speech saying that he wants to ban anyone coming into this country that is a Muslim. He wants to ban anybody based on their religious beliefs. And he wants to directly, he thinks that it would be an okay idea to directly violate the Constitution.
Where liberals get that attack all the time. You want to change the Constitution, you know.
Absolutely. It completely threw me over the edge when I learned about that. And all politics aside, and again, going back to pulling a Nate Allen here, everybody has the right to practice what they want to practice. And everybody has the right to say what it is that they want to say. And yes, as absolutely horrifying and mortifying and despicable as the things that have come out of Donald Trump's mouth, he has the right to say them. I mean, he has to deal with the consequences. They're deplorable, but I'm not saying that we should be taking away Donald Trump's right to make a complete ass of himself and absolutely tarnish any sort of positive image that he still would have had in this country. But what I am saying is that it really needs to be a time for this media circus to stop allowing this to happen. Because that's what is perpetuating this thing right now and keeping it alive. And it's a frickin' joke.
And what's really scary is that he's up 20% in polls. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he's up to like 45% or something?
No, it's because Carson's been
on the
tanking
decline
for a while.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they've held over 51% for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, the likely New Hampshire poll just put him at 32%, with Rubio in a distant second, but doesn't have his percentage. So
32% of registered voters,
Republican
who are
voters,
Republican, agree with Donald Trump.
Likely, I mean, it's just a pre-poll at this point. They haven't. It won't be until the new year that they go out.
But I mean, that's pretty scary. I mean, to think that's going to be somebody who could potentially get in office and run our country. It will be an absolute
It'll never
dictator.
happen. It'll never happen.
I know, but I'm just saying it's pretty scary to think about. Just to think about it for a second, and all I could say is, gee, thanks, God.
Tying it back in.
Yeah,
like
good way to tie it back in.
No,
gee,
it is.
Thanks, God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, gee, thanks, God. Yeah, I don't want to give.
It's all part of God's plan.
But the thing is with this, it is the completely closeted Islamophobic right-wing Christians that are in the most major support of Trump right now.
I don't think they're even closeted.
They're not closeted if they're supporting.
Well, no, but here's the difference: is that the ones that are not closeted do not make up the 32%. I mean, that slice is still, the people that outright come out and say it are still a vast minority. The people that sit around all day and they think it and they might share it with their spouse or a close friend or something like that is different. You know, where they're not out there at freaking, you know, white power KKK meetings, you know, like, so, you know, that's where that bigger chunk of all these people that are like, well, he's saying all the things that I want to say, but I can't say because then I'm going to look like a racist or I'm against somebody's religion and blah, blah. So I'll just let him say it and do all the dirty work, and then I'll vote for him.
So how
That's gonna
come
be
we
awesome at Christmas at my parents' house. I can't wait. Because
I've already told myself the other day in my head, I said, I'm not talking about politics or religion at Christmas at all with my uncles, my stuff. No, it's not happening. I'm not gonna have that conversation and just like get my
I think my dad's gonna try to do that in front of Elsa, especially just to make things really uncomfortable because that's what he does.
It's just an unspoken rule between my dad and I that we no longer talk about anything relating to religion or politics.
Well, here's what they do at my family's house. They always turn to me before dinner. Hey, do you want to say grace?
I said grace on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I just sit
I
there.
did. I said God is great, God is good, and we thank Him for our food. Amen.
You hypocrite! You're off the show.
Yep. See ya, Jerry.
See ya. No.
No, I did that once at a get together, and I just went grace. There, I said it, and I got a lot of dirty looks.
Yeah.
Well, so how come we never hear about radical atheism?
Because there's no such thing. Oh, there. I take that back. There probably is, but they're probably because the person doesn't have, let's say, a faith base. Instantly an atheist. Like the kid who shot up the church, the black church. They were saying that he was an atheist at one point. Ridgway said it, I believe.
What was he?
I don't remember. He was a psychopath.
You mean the one that killed the 9 people in
Yeah.
the church?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember if he said his what he believes or disbelieves or whatever, but instantly because he didn't disclose that information or because the press didn't have it at the time, instantly thought he was an atheist because he shot up a church.
Mm.
You know, so if you who cares about the denominations or who cares about black, white, whatever? These people who are doing this are absolute psychopaths who are killing people and taking people away from their families in the most horrific way possible. Gee, thanks God.
Well, let me ask you this. Wasn't World War II like basically based on religion? Hitler and the Jews?
You know, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm not an expert.
I mean, isn't that why we entered the war?
We entered the war because of Hitler, what he was doing to the Jews.
Killing
when we
the
intervened.
Jews. I mean, it was more humanitarian than anything
we
else.
entered
but
the war because of Pearl Harbor.
Right.
Is what we
Right.
did because we were directly attacked, and FDR did everything that he could to keep us out of the war
right.
because we didn't want to get in. And then when we were attacked, that was the catalyst to allow or to
Put
for
us
us
in.
to make our way in. But with Hitler, it wasn't necessarily as much of a religion thing as it was an ethnic thing. I mean, for him it was about ethnic cleansing, and it was about a bloodline of pure Germans versus the Jews, which, I mean, that side of it, because he targeted that religion so specifically, is what is remembered and is what, you know, because it was, there was just so much atrocity. But anybody who was a Jew did not fit into the perfect Aryan bloodline that...
The inbred race that he wanted to make.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah, it wasn't... It was focused on one religion more so than any other, but it was not that was not the pure cause of it. He didn't go to war because of the Jews. He went to war because he wanted to create the master race and conquer the world. So, anyway, tangent.
No,
Hey,
that's
well, thank you, God, for not allowing Hitler to conquer the world.
Gee, thanks God.
Thanks, God.
Thanks God.
Scott, anything more you'd like to say on like the original topic that?
Well, I mean, we've kept on topic because I think we've really kept on topic because it kind of coincides with one another. But I have a few things to kind of say.
I shouldn't do this. I look fat.
That's all right. You know, oh God, where to begin? Yeah, I watched I was on a behind the music marathon over the weekend.
They still play
VH1?
that?
VH1.
Yeah. Which
Did
I
you
really
watch the? Did you watch the Rick James one?
no, not yet. I watched what did I watch? I
That one was
watched
sad.
the 78 one, and I watched a Pantera one, and I watched Journey, which they talked about this kid who was a huge Journey fan, and he was deathly ill. This 14-year-old kid, and the band flew into the hospital bed and played him a new song called Only the Young, which is a great tune. And he died the next day. And you know, you just like kids who are sick and dying in hospitals didn't do anything wrong. They were just being kids, or they just were in this world.
Born.
They were born into this world, and all of a sudden, they were stricken with bone cancer. Gee, thanks God. Oklahoma, city bombing, where kids died, adults died, people died. Gee, thanks God. Or even the tornadoes that happened a couple years ago down there, where this woman and her family got caught up in the tornado, and they all died. A horrible, horrible death. And they showed that on the news. But then also they showed a Jeep turned over with, on top of the rubble of this broken down trash vehicle, was a Bible opened up to a passage. And somebody tweeted it out and said, "See, my God still delivers." Which I found just, why do you get to make it in this mother and child, or children don't? It reminds me of the Betty Bowers quote that I've maybe quoted before. Thanking God for sparing you from a national tragedy is like writing a thank you note to the serial killer for stabbing the people next door. I always thought that was funny. Just people thanking God for the most stupidest reasons possible, where the doctors are getting rid of a tumor, and there's a cartoon that's funny that says, "If anybody thanks God, I swear I'm going to put the tumor back in." And it goes back to my friend Corey, who just lived his life as such a fantastic person, just a infectious, like I said it before, infectious person, always happy, always there to kind of lend an ear, and it's not fair. So thanks, God, for taking a good person. Not saying that you need to take the bad people, but why do you got to make people suffer to have you bring them to your home? I think that's crap and unfair, and you just don't deserve any glory from me at all. You have a lot of explaining to do, and I have no words for you except for, gee, thanks God. That's my rant. It's kind of a boring one this time, wasn't it?
No.
I'm bummed out. Just bummed out. Well, I guess thanks God, because he gave us a topic for taking my damn friend away from me. Thank you.
Gee, thanks God.
Well, at
Anybody
least
else?
there's
That.
Did you watch that video that I sent you earlier?
I did, yeah. I did watch that. I watched it. I'd seen it earlier this week.
It only came out on the 4th or the 5th.
Yeah, I did see it. They were posting it online and some forums, and I did get a chance to view it. I
I
didn't
don't know what.
focus as much as I did today, but
Okay, yeah. I don't know what country it was from or
Germany,
what language. It was German.
it's German, yeah.
Okay, Tyler. Just so you know, these two guys they went out and they bought a Bible, and then they highlighted some passages like something about cutting off women's hands and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then they took like a cover from a
Like a
Quran,
cover sleeve.
a sleeve, yeah, from the Quran, and they went out onto the street and they started reading these passages to people on the street, and people saw that it was from the Quran,
Uh-huh.
and they were saying, "Well, that doesn't happen in the Bible, and this
Yeah,
is the
our Bible's
Bible's so much more peaceful."
Yeah.
And then the guys say, and they say, "This is from the Bible," and people are just like, "Oh, what?" Yeah,
One woman's like, "That's messed up." Except she didn't say mess,
yeah, it was kind of
Fantastic.
Yeah,
it was worth. I had to stop it a couple of times and go back just to reread the subtitles because they flash so fast,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was only about 3 minutes long, something like that, but it was worth it.
yeah.
Good. Good.
Anybody-
I wholeheartedly approve.
Yeah. Anybody else got final thoughts?
Jerry?
No, gee, thanks God.
Okay, one last thing, completely unrelated. Just something fun to kind of lighten up the mood and just take us off topic, and now we're not worried about anything. All right, so to close the show, random question. If you could go to one concert, one show, one something. You got me thinking on this behind the music, Scott.
Oh, okay.
If you could pick any show of all time, one thing, like past or present, at your current age or whatever age, not like when you would have been at the time, one show, what show would it have been?
Gosh.
Really? Because there's so many to choose.
Yeah, you
Just
caught me
pick
off
one.
guard.
Just pick one. Come on.
And past or present, so it could be
Past or present.
Oh,
Could be recent. It could have been before you were born.
do I have
If you
good
want
seats?
to, huh?
Queen
That's
at
good.
Wembley Stadium.
Oh, that's mine. You can't take that.
That's the one where Freddie Mercury was in the white Superman tank top or sleeveless shirt, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then and just yeah. That one
With
was
the
mine.
white pants. Yeah, I think I would have to take that. So we can go together.
All
Get
right.
stoned.
Scott?
And I'm not a huge Queen fan, really, but I started watching that. It was on Palladium, and
I love that channel.
I started watching
Huge
it one
Queen
day, and I was like, Freddie Mercury was just a genius.
He was.
You know,
So
he was totally a genius.
Gosh. Do I have good seats?
You can sit wherever you want.
Wherever you want.
I would say Kiss Love Gun Tour, 1977, 78.
There you go.
But I will do a quick disclaimer. I guarantee you that next Tuesday, when I see you next Tuesday,
Oh.
I will probably change my mind and say, no, that's not what I wanted to see. That's probably what's going to happen.
You've been waiting all night to say, "See you next Tuesday."
No, I haven't.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
No.
When I see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
What
All
about
right.
yours, Tyler?
Huh?
He just told you.
I just told you mine was Queen at Wembley. So
Gosh, Jerry's a forgetful one of the show now.
I was just kidding. For
Ay,
crying
ay,
out
ay,
loud.
okay.
Uh,
Well, we lightened it up a little bit at least.
Yeah. The minute that we go off air, I'm going to text you guys like, no, I want to go see this show.
No, don't text me.
Don't ever call me again.
I didn't know if it was going to be Kiss or if it was going to be Prince.
I've
So,
seen Prince so many times, and
Right,
and
but isn't there like one Prince show that is like
no,
regarded as the show, like something that you weren't at, but it was like in his heyday, like All right, now we're getting way off topic.
Yeah, we're getting way off
Sorry.
topic.
Because I almost said Madonna's Blind Ambition tour,
Mm-hmm.
but I had seen that a couple of times because it was on HBO back in the day, and then I had an ex who absolutely was obsessed with the Blonde Ambition tour, and I made it my mission to get him a copy of it on DVD, which I did successfully, and we watched it probably about 6 or 7 times.
But you didn't actually see it live.
No, but even still, it was an amazing show.
I would probably change my answer. I'd probably go see Katy Perry like in 2007 before she became famous and hit on her, and she could be my girlfriend.
That's skank, no, I'm kidding.
I'm surprised you didn't say
Alright.
Tay-Tay, Tyler.
Well, on that note, hi,
Good
Gavin.
night. Oh, shit.
I can't believe we ended it. We waited until the end of the show for that.
Good night, everybody. Sorry we're so somber.
Gee, thanks God.
Thanks, God.
Everybody's saying, gee, thanks God, that's over.
Oh.
Do you think they got to the end?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so if you got to the end, you got to tell me what I'm doing right now.
Cue comment from Headcase.
Thank you for watching Positively Godless. Look at the links below or in the screen or wherever they are. And talk to us. Bye.
Stupid.
What?
That was awful.
It's still recording.
Let's get down. Watch, I'm going to let him go. Woo! Gone.
Well, it worked out much better when I had my cat outside.
Wow.
That
My cat don't scratch me. He knows better. My pussy isn't a scratcher. My pussy is gentle. My pussy is soft and gentle.
Oh gosh, so many bleeps.
There's nothing wrong with the word pussy.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Hey everybody, welcome to this. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's God damn it.
I mean, like I do. I try to make a joke about things. I have to. It's the only
That's
way
because you have a sense of humor.
I have a sense of humor too.
Unlike...
I have a sense of humor.
So now, wait a minute. Wouldn't some people say that you have to have a sense of humor to believe in God?
Oh, this is a topic for another show.
Got everything like ready to go.
I'm just saying, like, if we really had that great of a sense of humor, we'd be believers now, wouldn't we?
Everybody go get a change of clothes. We're going to record another episode right now.
I don't have to do any change of clothes because I was recording the same thing.
That's true.